you guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test. Okay, recent episode, guys, of Abott Elementary, which I keep saying I need to start watching because it always wins,
It's a good show.
awards, and it seems to be a funny show. But recently, they did an interesting crossover episode with the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So the cast of It's Always, because both shows are set in Philadelphia, of course. So the cast of It's Always Sunny were on like a community service type sentence or something like that. So they had to come in and volunteer at the school or something was the premise. And it aired, I don't know if it aired yet. I think it aired recently here. So so the idea was some of the the producers, I guess, were talking and somebody said something that just to make a funny It's Always Sunny episode. Yeah. And it got the idea, it got the both parties talking, and they recently did this. I think it's very interesting and unique. I don't know that's really happened in too many episodes.
Type of show.
No,
I mean, you've not seen Abott Elementary, Brian, but it's not like Sunny at all.
It's more of a family.
Yeah, it's a prime time ABC show. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I mean, but it's not the type of humor that Sunny is. So that's definitely interesting.
All throughout TV history, you have all of these shows that have done crossovers. What it is it's setting examples that this is the same universe. Look at ABC, like any of like the TGI Fridays or was it TGI? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it stands for.
A lot of those shows can't crossovered with each other for that because they were all in quote unquote the same universe, right? Hell, there's been who was it? I think Andre Brower on Law and Order. I think he has like maybe it's either him or the other guy from Law and Order. There's one of the guys from Law and Order that has the most crossovers in TV history, and he's crossed over. He's played the same character in the X-Files. He's played the same character in all of the Law and Orders. He's gone over and done like the Chicago shows. No, it's the comedian Bowser. Brian, who is it?
Bowser from Sha-Na-Na?
No, close. The guy, glasses, slick back hair. He was a comedian. Hulk Hogan choked him out. Bowser,
I don't know.
You're already doing editing, so
we're
Bauer. Bowser. It's Bowser from Mario.
Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
Boner.
No, whatever his name is, I don't.
We're gonna say Boner.
He was a comedian with Ice-T. He was his partner in the show.
The tall, thin guy with the glasses, the Italian-looking guy.
Yes,
it's Boner. Yeah,
Boner pill.
Boner. Yeah,
whatever. My tablet's dead, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, that guy has the most crossovers, I think, in all of TV. So you've been doing it for all these years. I mean, shit. Even in the 50s and shit, they would cross over sometimes and do cameos and such. So it's been widespread all throughout TV.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell two enemies.
All right, so our Ask an Idiots question here, guys. Any era can cross over to any era, right? So the stars of a show in their prime could cross over into any show in any era. It could be the same era. I don't care. Give me one crossover all time. There could be several that you would like to see. The cast of this show goes into this other show. What show do they come from? What show are they on? And if you have any
Does it
concept
have
of
to be
a
current
plot,
news, or can it be
no, all time.
Okay.
All time. Nick, you have a thought?
I do. This one is the
Go ahead.
easiest one that immediately came to mind. It would be seamless to do. They both take place in the same place. They were both classics in their time at the same time. Why wouldn't you have the cast of Seinfeld show up at Central Perk in the Friends universe at some point? That would be fantastic. Incredible shows. Like I said, classics, and not in the same exact way, but certainly a similar feel to them, right? As just, single people doing their thing in New York City, living their day-to-day lives and going through the ups and downs of daily life. It would be fun to see the cast of Seinfeld and Friends interact with one another.
Can I blow your mind and give you that they did it a Jace?
Okay.
So, get this: Lisa Kudrow played her sister,
Ursula,
also, right? Ursula.
Yep.
Ursula was on Mad About You.
Okay. Yes.
And they did another cameo where you found out in like a look back on Mad About You that Paul Reiser's character is the one who sublet the apartment to Kramer.
Oh, okay.
So in a way, there's characters that's twined, so they are in the same universe.
In Mad About You, there were characters each that
correct
spanned
Ursula,
out into respectively Seinfeld and Friends.
Lisa Kudrow played Ursula on Mad About You, and Paul Reiser played his character. Well, Kramer did the cameo on Mad About You because they did a look back on what Paul was doing before he got married, and he was moving out to go move in with Helen Hunt. And he let and he was subletting his apartment to Kramer. That's how Kramer got the apartment across from Jerry.
Okay,
interesting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, and this is not, and he was not the same character, but Jason Alexander was in Friends, an episode of Friends, where he's selling toner and he ends up Phoebe's selling toner and calls an office, and it is Jason Alexander on the other end, and he is just distraught and at his wit's end. He's about to kill himself, and she ends up intertwined with this, trying to end up talking him out of trying to kill himself. So she shows up at his office, and actually, Phoebe is again, Jason Alexander. He is not George, in this episode.
Correct.
But the actor at least is in Friends. But yeah, I thought it would be cool to see those characters kind of interact with one another.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
It would have been a huge Thursday night promo for NBC at the time. That was Thursday night at its peak.
Yeah,
for them back then, for sure.
It actually seems so like a match made in heaven that I had to stop and really think. I have not seen all of Seinfeld yet, but I have seen all of Friends, probably no less than 20 times all the way through. And I'm like, there wasn't, right? Like, it just seems so almost like obvious that could work, that I'm like, did that? They were both on NBC. They were both, active. There was an overlap of years that they were both. Yeah. So it seems just too obvious to have never happened.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Never did. Dean, do you have a thought?
I do. All right. Mine is a little broad, right? I'm going to go a little wavy.
I've never seen Little Broad. Is that a good show?
It's terrific. Okay, so my crossover is Quantum Leap with every or any show on television. When I say that, let me explain.
Easily done.
You could every TV show could easily have one episode where the character, you could have Scott Bakula take over one of the. It could be a character in the background, or it could be a sub character or main character. Doesn't matter, and have Scott Bakula just leap in and cameo on any show, and it could be a comedy. It could if it wouldn't have got canceled, they were talking about doing a cartoon episode. They also were talking about, and this was actually going to happen, he was going to leap into Magnum PI and do an episode of Magnum PI as Scott Bakula as Tom Selleck. Not even the TV show, like the actual universe of Magnum PI. So I think if it would have kept going, you could have easily put Scott Bakula in any TV show, or vice versa. You could have the TV show be an episode of Quantum Leap, and do an episode of Friends. And he's Joey for the episode. I think that would have been cool.
I like that.
Can I just say how exponentially, for never having even experienced a second of Quantum Leap, how much I know about that show from doing this podcast for the last 4 years is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
I feel like I know a lot about Quantum Leap, and I have never seen a moment of any version of it. But I feel like I have a decent understanding of the show.
Well, that tickles my heart.
You're out here spreading it to the masses. You're spreading the word of Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap.
What about you, Brian?
Quantum Leap, Night Court, and many random facts that have nothing to do with the primary topic.
Absolutely.
Yes, there you go.
That's what I bring to the table.
One that popped in my mind was it could be an episode, or it could be something that could be of a broader, maybe a several episode stint or something like that. So, Scrubs. I know at least you guys like Scrubs as well, and Scrubs would delve into. They would do some weird things as well. They would have like fantasy type episodes where they're, the thinking about episode. Doing, So the doctors from MASH are retired from the service. They come into the hospital. There's some interaction there, whether it's a fantasy or whether it's some type of reality where they have a cameo for a while, but their senior, like imagine like Colonel Potter is like the hospital director or something like that, or Hawkeye is there as a senior physician, but but obviously he's a jokester and everything else there. I think there would have been at least an episode or something like that where that interaction between those actors, certainly the MASH actors would have been a little older if you just take them in real time,
Sure.
But I thought that would have been a very cool, interesting interaction with the doctors. I don't know. MASH and
interesting.
Scrubs.
MASH and Scrubs. I like that a lot. Hey, Team with Convincing Idiots, Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.